Saint Gregory the Dialogist. Gregory, the servant of the servants of God, as he wanted to be called, lived in Rome during the 6th century. When Gregory was very young, his father died, leaving his upbringing to the care of his pious mother Sylvia. From childhood, Gregory's mother ensured that her son loved God and the Church. In time, Gregory matured and became a teacher. However, he had a heartfelt desire to pursue monastic life. Therefore, he decided to leave Rome and be tonsured a monk at the monastery of the Holy Apostle Andrew. Eventually, he was elected an abbot. Monk Gregory lived in obedience, following a strict ascetical rule. On account of his virtuous life, the fathers at the monastery honored and revered him greatly. While he himself excelled spiritually, he also made an effort to care for the spiritual needs of the entire brotherhood with prudence and discretion. Despite his many responsibilities, he never neglected his assigned task of copying ancient manuscripts. At the same time, he authored books in fulfillment of his teaching ministry for the benefit of the Christians. One morning, while he was sitting in his monastic cell, copying a book of the life of saints from Italy, he heard a knock at the door. Interrupting his work, the saint made the sign of the cross and went to answer the door. Standing before him was a man dressed in rags. As soon as he saw the saint, the man fell at his feet and began to beg, saying, "Man of God, have pity on me. I was shipwrecked, and whatever little wealth that I had has been lost. I barely managed to escape with my life. Please, help me. I have come here to your monastery in order to ask for your compassionate assistance. Please have mercy on me." With a loving expression, Saint Gregory consoled him, saying, "My brother, do not worry. I will give you whatever I can from what little I have." The monk went into his cell and returned holding 6 coins. He gave the coins to the man, who received them joyfully and departed. The saint then returned to his work. A short time later, there was another knock at the saint's door. The monk opened the door only to find the very same man. Weeping, the man said, "I beg you, Holy Father, take pity on my destitute state. The 6 coins that you gave me were not enough to elevate my poverty." Without a second thought, Saint Gregory immediately brought him 6 more coins. "Good sir, take this money. Unfortunately, I have no more to give you. However, I hope that you will be helped by God's goodness." The poor man accepted the saint's charitable offering gratefully and went towards the gate of the monastery. Just as the humble monk was prepared to continue his work copying the manuscripts, he heard a knock at the door for the 3rd time. The strange foreigner had returned again seeking additional assistance. Without any hesitation, the charitable saint began searching his poor cell. Unable to find any money, Gregory gave the poor man a silver plate that his mother had given him. Satisfied, the man took the plate and left without bothering the saint again. Gregory's love for the poor was indeed great. Neither did he criticize the poor man's rudeness, nor did he allow him to leave empty-handed. Thus, as long as the saint lived in the monastery, A multitude of poor and suffering people sought his aid and consolation. His fame spread far and wide, and eventually the people elected him to become a hierarch and to serve the Church as the Pope of Rome. Despite St. Gregory's high rank and many obligations, he never forgot the poor, but worked even harder for their relief. Every day he distributed whatever he had to help those in need. One day he asked Sacellarius to call 12 poor people to share a meal with him and to experience some relief from their difficult situations. However, when the poor people sat down to eat with St. Gregory, he noticed that there were 13 rather than 12 people. Furthermore, he noticed also that the 13th person was different from the others and also made an impression on him. He called Sacellarius and asked him, "Didn't I tell you to invite 12 poor people to eat with me? Why then there are 13 people here?" "Holy Master, believe me, there are only 12 people here, just as you requested." The Holy Patriarch realized that he was having a vision, which is why the 13 guests continually drew his attention. The guests caused the saint to feel a great joy in his heart. Indeed, his face was illumined, and at times resembled the appearance of a venerable elder, and at other times a young person in blossom of the youth. When the meal was finished and the visitors got up from the table, the saint bade them farewell and saw the 12 out, while the 13 he took in his cell. There he asked him, "In God's name, tell me, who are you and what is your name?" The man answered, "Why are you asking my name? You know already me. I am the poor person to whom you gave 12 coins and a silver plate, a gift that you have received from your mother Sylvia. Know well that from that moment the Lord appointed you to become the Bishop of Rome, because he took notice of your tender compassion and simplicity of heart." Amazed, the saint asked, "How do you know anything about God's decisions?" "I am an angel sent by God, and therefore know all that God commands. The Lord sent me to test you, to discover if you are truly charitable for the love of your fellow brothers and sisters, or out love for yourself and pride. Therefore, when your virtuous character was proven, God commanded me to always be with you as your protector." Upon saying these things, the angel vanished. Then the saint knelt and worshipped God, thanking him for all the great care that he had shown him, and for all those who love God and do his holy will. The humble hierarch continued to observe the divine commandments and to help his fellow men draw closer to God throughout his life. He wrote many works exhorting Christians to pious living. Some of them were translated into other languages by his disciple, Peter the Archdeacon, who saw the following miraculous thing: that a white dove would descend from heaven and whisper into the saint's ear while he was writing. The Church recognized Patriarch Gregory as a saint for his holy life. His memory, which is honored on March 12th, reminds us that whoever shows mercy to the poor lends to God. Amen.